Hey y'all, it's me. It's me. It's your girl, the glow up is. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited, y'all, because we are on episode 24. Y'all know how we do already with the glow up is. We grow, right? To glow. And that's what we doing. We gonna continue to grow even when it don't feel good. Okay. That's right. Even though it don't feel good, we gonna still grow. We gonna grow to glow because that's the right way. This is what we supposed to be doing. And I'm your pusher. I'm your coach. I'm your encourager. Look, listen, we in this thing together. You are not by yourself. There's no such thing as you excluded. Nope, we included. Okay, we in this thing together, boo boo. Yep, I got you. Okay, so listen. So if you looked at the episode, you already saw where I was going with this today. Um, I titled it "Get Out Your Feelings." Get out your feelings. Like seriously, get out your feelings. Like I don't know about y'all, but as of lately, right, God been really picking with me and really been trying to, get on me with some things, right? And it's just like sometimes, right, we could be easily offended. And some of us, right, we can become sensitive to some things, right? Depending on how a person will talk to us, how a person may say something, right? Sometimes it's just all in the delivery. You get what I'm saying? But I'm learning more and more, right, to not take offense, right, too much. And sometimes I don't need to be too in my feelings because we don't even know where that stuff is coming from. And so I just wanted to get on here on tonight, man, because some of us got some roots that we need to check. We got some roots, we got some things, we got some issues that we got going on that the feelings have been there for a long time, and we gotta fix that thing. We gotta examine that thing because guess what's gonna end up happening? It's gonna stunt our growth. And we can't be having that. We cannot have that our growth is just gonna stop. Nope, nope, it ain't on nobody else. It's not on nobody else but us. And y'all, that thing felt some kind of crazy this week for me because I was in my feelings and I was like, why do I feel like this? And sometimes it don't even be anything. I'm just like, I don't even understand why I'm in my feelings, right? But God gave me a word. God gave me a word. So listen, I just want to share with you the word. So it is Proverbs chapter 4. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 20. I'm going to start at verse 20. And then I'm going to stop at 23. So it says, my son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Y'all, y'all, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. I got to say it again because emphasis on verse 23 though. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart. For everything you do flows from it. Y'all, that thing blessed me. When I tell you what, I was like, Lord, God was like, I need you to check your senses. I need you to check your senses, your senses, right? This old flesh of yours got some issues. This whole thing, right? And this is the root of it. The flesh, y'all, the flesh is us. It ain't the spirit, it's us. We done experienced some things, right? That done got us to the level where we at. And I'm not saying that those things, those things, right, are non-void, right? And it's not that you went through those things in vain, but some of us need to start talking these things out because listen, we got to heal, we got to grow. And the only way that we're gonna be able to grow, right, is if we do the work. We can't really grow if we're not doing the work. We're just sitting there and we're babying, right, our emotions, and we're babying our feelings. And then we got people around us that, don't even hold us accountable, y'all. for being in our feelings because they're so used to us being in our feelings, they tiptoe around who we are. And they've done it for years. And so now you think that it's okay, right? Because you like, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it for so long that it feels good. It feels right. And y'all was reading out of the this is the new international version, right? The NIV version. So I was like, great day. I said, this is what we doing. I said, God, really? I said, I done got all of my emotions, I done got all of my feelings. But God was like, wait a minute. I need for you to guard your heart. And some of us, y'all, what we don't do is guard our hearts. A lot of us, what we end up doing is we carry other people's issues, right? But not even do we carry other people's issues and other people's mess, but we got our own mess that we dealing with. You ain't by yourself, sis. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what, because the reality is that we need each other. We need each other. And the thing is that sometimes, y'all, our heart and our emotions and the things that we go through, we place them in our hearts instead of allowing God to go ahead and deal with us in them, right? We just say, oh no, I'm gonna take the easy way. I'm gonna take the easy way out, and I'm gonna just deal with this at another time. I'll save it for later. And some of us don't even get back to it. Some of us even forgot that we were supposed to go back to the issue. But we've been holding it in for so long, and it's messing us up. I don't know about y'all, man. Listen, my pastor was talking about the fruit of the spirit, right? He was talking about the fruit of the spirit on Sunday, and I just feel like all of this goes into one big thing, because in the word a few minutes ago we was talking about the whole body and how it affects us. It affects us because what ends up happening is that we get so wrapped up in ourselves, right? That we're no good for ourselves, but we think that we are. So we dress it up, we make it look good. And here we go with the senses. If we make it look good, we put on a little perfume, right? Because we want to smell good. There go that nose. And then, maybe, we out here cooking and doing different things. We doing different things with our hands because we want to touch. And then when those things do not work together for our good, right? What ends up happening is that we put ourselves in other people's stuff. Y'all, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me like a ton of bricks because even earlier in this week, y'all, I literally was about to put myself and volunteer. I was literally about to volunteer myself to do something for this person. And I'm like, okay. And then me volunteering, getting ready to volunteer to put myself in it, right? I was in my feelings because I put myself in it. I was like, Lord, why did I do that? Why did I do that to myself? I put my own self in the situation. So now I got to depend on you, God, to help me to get up out of it. Did you hear what I just said? Some of us, man, we are our biggest enemy. Some of us need to really cut the things off that's really killing us, that's hurting us. And a lot of it is in our hearts already. And that's why it's easy for us to just glean to those things. Like that man is in your heart and he ain't even supposed to be there. Yep, I said it. That man is in your heart and he ain't even supposed to be there. That woman is in your heart and ain't even supposed to be there. Did you ask God, is he supposed to be in your heart? Does he even show any of the fruit of the spirit? Does he even show you God-like traits? This is how you know whether or not if this is the person that you're supposed to be with. This is the person. Listen, ain't no man calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning just to check on you and say, hey, boo, how you doing? Nope. Nope. And see, I ain't even gonna pretend like I don't know about them calls. You see what I'm saying? Okay, because I done made a few back in the day. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real with you. Because at the end of the day, right, we have to be mindful of what we're putting in our hearts because we have to guard it. We have to make sure that everything that we're doing, right, everything that we're doing is not in vain. And we also have to make sure that what we're putting inside, we don't know who watching us. We have no idea who is out here looking at us, who's looking at us for inspiration. And I promise you, you may feel like ain't nobody looking at you, but I promise you somebody want to be you. Yeah, God had to show me that too. And I was like, God, Why in the world do I got to carry this thing? Why I got to be the one to do this? Why do I got to be the one? And God says you ain't got to be the one to do none of that. You just keep putting yourself up in it. Why? Because you've been a strong friend the whole time. You always the one that's doing this and showing up for everybody else. And now you feeling some type of way because ain't nobody showing up for you. You done did surprise birthday parties for everybody else, and ain't nobody did a surprise birthday for you. You don't even like surprises. So why you even feel some type of way? Yes, 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 sis. Okay. Okay, I see you, sis. Okay, when I try to guard my heart, I notice I begin to shut down or shut people out. Okay, and you know what, sis? That's a real thing too, because that's a root. And that's a beautiful thing too. It's like we have to be open and honest with ourselves. Why am I shutting this person out? Do I have a good reason to shut this person out? Right. But then also it goes right back to you too, right? And it goes back to us because I promise you, I've been there too, sis. I feel you on that because we have to be mindful of who we allow in our space. Everybody is not called to be in your space. Did y'all hear what I just said? Everybody is not called to be in your space. And I say that because not everybody's going in the direction that you're going in. You got some people out here that's literally, right, waiting for you to fail. You got some people that's praying on your downfall. Okay. And God knows all of this, but they got a job to do. You get what I'm saying? They have a job to do, but it's on you to not fold. It's on you, right, to keep going. Yes, sis. It's on you to keep going. It's on you to get out of your feelings. You can't take offense because they don't want to be around you no more. This is the growth level. Listen, I tell y'all what, God been showing me that. It's like, Toya, you're growing. You can't be around the same people that you used to be around. And it's okay for you to take offense because you want to be in the mix because you always been in the mix, right? And even though I've been in the mix, it's like, really? Was that mix really everything that you really wanted it to be? Seriously. Right? And you start thinking about these things because then you realize the things that I've been putting in my heart, the people that I've been holding dear to me, at the end of the day, they are irrelevant. Like, do they really have how much of a value do they have? Have I gotten so accustomed, right, to having them there that I've made them my God? Or have I put some things in there where I've now made that my God? That's why I say, y'all, we got to get out our feelings. When God begin to show you got to take that thing and go with it. You got to take it and run with it because the thing is that means that there's some issues that's going on, right? That's tied to that one issue. Sometimes you got a bunch of issues that's tied to the root of the problem, and it is a bland issue, and you be like, what the heck? I didn't realize that this experience could cause all of these different, and they can all have different side effects. They can have all different types of side effects, y'all. And so we have to be mindful, right? Because it can really, right? If we really look into our heart, we got a lot of mess in there. I don't know about y'all, but listen, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm like, God, I got all of these different things in here, but I need you to clean my heart out. I don't know about you. I need God to clean my heart out because I don't want to be attached to anything that's not going to help me grow, right? In order for me to glow, I want to shine, baby. I want to shine. I don't know about y'all, but I want to shine. I want the light to shine. I want it to shine through. And you should not have to dim your light for nobody, right? But we got to get out our feelings. We got to do the work, right, to address the issues that's within us. And we have to ask God, God, show me what's in my heart. I don't know. You got to say that thing boldly too when you say it. God, show me what's in my heart. Show me what I'm attached to because these emotions sometimes can be all over the place. You see what I'm saying? And the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. That's his job. How you gonna get mad at the enemy for doing his job? This is what he do. He's called to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to steal your joy. He wants to steal your peace. He wants you to stay in your feelings, right? He wants you to stay in your feelings. He don't want you to go to God. He don't want you to go to God. He don't want you. He wants you to stay messed up. He wants you to stay like, oh yeah, well, my grandma did this. It worked for my grandma. So, these generational curses, they just keep going and they keep going and they keep going. And then you wonder, like, why in the world do I even act like this? Some of this stuff is hereditary. Y'all don't even realize. Do you realize that some of these things are hereditary? Some of these things, man, your grandma, your grandpa, they were going through these things. They were actually legit having feelings. Do you realize that depression can be hereditary? Okay. It's a real thing. These are real issues that we going through, y'all. But we got to get to the root of it. And we have to make sure that we're guarding our heart. And sometimes we can guard our heart too much, because the reality is, right, is that God has called some people to us. But we have to be able to utilize our discernment. And our discernment, man, he gave it to us. He says, I'm leaving my comforter with you. And so if I'm leaving my comforter with you, right, you know wrong from right. This is what it's telling, that your spirit knows right from wrong. And your spirit knows whether or not this man is a good man for you, or whether or not if this woman is a good woman for you. You know this already, but yet something in you is like, I like the thrill. I like the way he smell. I like the way he look. I like the way he makes me feel. There we go. I like the way he makes me feel. And it's nothing wrong, right, with how you feel. But at the same time, think about all of the other things that you done just said. It's the smell. All of that stuff is so intoxicating, right? And it's very tempting. And the enemy like to dress it up. I don't know about y'all. Listen, the enemy like to dress it up and make it smell good just for you. He know your type. He know exactly what it is that you need. He know how to press your buttons. He know what it's like for you to go ahead on and make that phone call. He knows what it's like when you on the road and you got road rage and you got somewhere you got to be. You keep just honking the horn like you gonna get somewhere. And we all going in the right direction. We going all going in the same direction on 95, 85. But it's a hot mess sometimes because we get in our feelings. And sometimes, y'all, our feelings can just get us so wrapped up in so much. And it's like, I'm so wrapped up in my feelings in this moment. And it was just a moment. Like it didn't really last that long, but it made such an impression on you that you'd allowed just that one moment to mess your whole day up. And the enemy said, yes, I got him. I got him now. I got him. This is the enemy that's excited because your joy, your peace, you just gave it away. I can still have joy even if a person put the finger up at me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I done got cut off plenty of times. I ain't got time for to go back and forth and cussing and doing all that, beeping the horn and all that now. You know what's so crazy? Listen, I have been delivered. I have literally been delivered with that. Because I used to have road rage real bad, going back and forth from North Carolina to Virginia. And I'm like, some of these people don't know how to drive. I'm like, how long these people been in North Carolina and Virginia drivers? And I'm like, Lord, and it's raining out here. How in the world you wait this long to get right here? So now I had the patience, right? I'm a little bit more observant. And sometimes that's what we got to do, right? Because when we go through an experience, and the experience keeps on repeating itself over and over and over again, we got to do something different. We got to try something different. And I don't know about y'all, but listen, I got to cut my music on because sometimes I have to tune it out because my senses, my eyes will mess me up and my eyes will have me all up in my feelings. And the crazy thing about it is God will remind us, right, is that our flesh, we have to control it. It has to cease. Like it has to die daily. This is a daily walk that we're doing in this thing. It's not an easy feat. It's not an easy feat, but we got to trust that God has everything under control and we have to be able to give it to him. And if we can't give it to him, then how in the world do we even expect, right, for God to even get to a place where he said, okay, you've done your job, you've done your due. How do we expect to fulfill the purpose if we're so in our feelings and we take easy offense, right? Now it's some positive things as well, y'all, that comes along with our feelings, but they got to be attached to God. And if it's not attached to God and who He is, then those ain't the right feelings, because we got to have positivity. We can't have anything that's going to deter us and stop us from growing. Trials and tribulations come to build us. It comes to build. God does not want to change who you are. He does not want to change who you are. He loves your personality, man. He wants to build your character. He wants to build your character, and you have to allow him to build your character, because a lot of times what happens is that we get so caught up in our feelings and what's inside of our heart, that our heart begins to dictate our actions. What's in must come out, whether or not if it's out the mouth, whether or not if it's actually applying it, right? Some things that we see, right? It's a song out right now, right? And I don't even like this girl. I do not even like this girl, but it's such a it's the song. It's such a catchy song, right? And I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, what in the world? What song is this? And I keep hearing it. I was hearing it, right? I kept hearing it. So then I went to the store today. I actually went out and got I tried to go get me some pizza sauce, because I was like, I'm gonna make me some pizza tonight. So I go to the store and I'm like, okay. And as soon as I pull up, I'm like, Lord, look at that song again. And it was like, ooh, baby, right? He'd be like, babe, I love you. You my everything. Like, I'm literally, and next thing you know, I start singing it. I start singing it too. I think her name is Red, Sexy Red, or something like that. Listen, but I'm telling you, listen, stay with me. I'm just saying, the more that you drill things inside of you, right, in our eyes, our ears, right, just our senses, period, they can literally make us begin to feel some type of way about things. And I'm like, Lord, I don't even like that song, but it's catchy though, right? So it was in me, so it came out. I was like, Red Day was in me for that long. And you sometimes you don't even realize it. So subconsciously, right, we have to be aware of our surroundings. We have to be aware. And this is why he's telling us to be on God, man. This is Solomon talking to us. This man asked for wisdom. Out of all the things to ask for, right? He asked for wisdom. He could have asked for more money. He could have said a whole lot of more things, right? But God, he asked God for wisdom. And I'm just like, God, help me to have a heart like that, where I can ask you for wisdom, but not just wisdom, but help me to apply the wisdom. Help me to apply the knowledge. Help me to apply the things that it is for you, that you're trying to get me to do. Because I want to fulfill purpose, but I don't want to be easily offended. I don't want to get so caught up in my feelings that I miss the mark. I don't want to get so caught up in this world and what this world thinks about me, right? And because people gonna say things that you don't agree with. People gonna have a whole lot of things to say, right? And we have to learn that we have to allow God to build us up, because if he's building us up daily, even when a person does try to come at you and the enemy try to send something up at you, you can be like, not today. Not today, boo-boo. And that is a done. You get what I'm saying? It's already done. Because the reality is that we got to stay focused. And if we stay focused and we keep our eyes on God, right? We keep our eyes on God, then we're going to be able to reap what it is, right, that we need to put in place inside of our hearts, because we begin to ask God, God, is it okay for me to do that? And God says, yes, yes, yes. He begins to give you all of these things, and you begin to get all of these different positive affirmations as to who you are, right? And then you begin to get a village around you, and you begin to get that man who treats you the way that you're supposed to be treated, not based on who you used to be in your experiences, and because you was in your feelings and it's easy for you to take offense, right? But you got a man that's patient with you. You got a woman that's patient with you and understanding with you, because they understand that you've experienced some things, right? You put some things prematurely into your heart that you weren't supposed to put inside of your heart. You gave your heart to another person that wasn't supposed to be there, right? And so there was some trauma with that. And so because you have that trauma, right, with that other partner that you had, and now you got a new partner, and God is trying to give you something new, right? He's trying to give you something new. You can actually see the traits of God in him, right? And so because you see that he's truly a reflection of God's heart for you and the love, he has the patience of Job. He tries to understand your mindset. He tries to make you feel, he begins to make you feel all of these wonderful things, right? Why can't you have that? Why can't you have all of the things that God has called for you to have here on earth? Why can't you have heaven here on earth? You can have heaven here on earth, but you got to get out your feelings. You got to get out your feelings. You got to get out your feelings. We got to get out of our feelings. Woo, we got to get out of our feelings. We can receive the blessings that God have for us if we just get out of our feelings. Sometimes we just got to get out the way. We just got to shut up. Sometimes we just got to shut up. Sometimes we just got to stand down. Sometimes we do. And it's the best thing for us to do sometimes, because sometimes we say some of the most ignorant things out of our mouth, and sometimes we don't even think before we say them. And I say we because, listen, I do it sometimes. You know, I get ahead of myself and I get excited about certain things. So I'm like, okay, all right, Toy, you went all the way left. And I literally have to come back, because I have to remind myself. And this is how you know you're growing, because what happens is that you begin to check you, right? Because next thing you know, you spending so much time with God, and God making you feel all of these things, man. Y'all don't know what y'all do, but listen, God be making me feel good. And because he be making me feel good, I'm like, okay, God, help your girl out. Help your daughter out. I need your help right now. God says, okay, I'm to the rescue. I got you. So you got to constantly be in this word. You got to constantly be intentional with this walk. It's a daily thing. Walking with God is a daily thing. It's a daily thing. It's not a one day thing. You don't just pick up and just say, okay, God, I want you today, and then the rest of the week you forget about it. No, God, I got to carry you every day. I got to carry you with me every single day. I need you every single step of the way. I can't be out here just, letting life just pass me by. I'm trying to fulfill the purpose. But I understand that I got to get out my feelings, even when I don't want to get out of my feelings. And sometimes, y'all, it don't feel good. It don't. It don't feel good, especially when you know you've been doing that since forever. You know, you've been doing it since forever. You've been doing it for such a long time, and then you get a person that try to hold you accountable, and you like, this don't feel good. Lord, why I gotta do that? You see what I'm saying? And this is a real thing, y'all. This is a real thing. This is why he's telling us to guard our hearts. He's telling us to guard our hearts. Listen, we make excuses. Yep, sis, we make excuses all the time. This is just how I am. I've been this way all my life. God says I change it. I don't like it. Change it. I don't like it. So what? You 80 some years old, you 90 some years old, and you still say, I'm just this just who I am. This is how I've been for this long. And God's like, okay, and I've been allowing you to live for as long as you have been living, in hopes of you asking me for help one day. Ouch. And you still ain't asked me for help. You still ain't asked me for no help yet. Girl, I'm gonna tell you what, our emotions will have us out here looking like a fool. Why not have your emotions out here looking like a fool for the Lord? I'll wait. Listen, I'd have been a fool for everything else. Why I can't be a fool for the Lord? I could be in my feelings about who God is, right? I can be in my feelings about all of the things that it is that God has called me, because we got boundaries and we got standards and we have expectations. We have expectations that God is going to do it. We know that he can do above everything that we could ever ask for, and we just want his thoughts. God, I want your ways. Let's say that today. God, I want your ways. I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want to deal with just Toya no more. And say your name. Be real with yourself. You got to be real with yourself, because the reality is, right, is that God don't want us to be so caught up in our feelings. He don't want us to take to offense, to things, because people need us. You need them. We need each other. This is what it's about. Ain't nobody excluded. Everybody go through things. Yep, everybody goes through things. But we cannot allow our flesh to keep having us in a chokehold. Like, listen, your feelings will have you in a chokehold. And then you're like, well, dang, why was I really feeling like that? Especially when it's addressed. And some of us, we still holding on to things that, again, that we should have been let go. And we just holding them in. We just hold it. We just suppress it and suppress it. And some of y'all actually need therapy. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna say that because I was one of those people too. I'm like, Lord, I can't do therapy. I'm black. That sounds crazy, don't it? That sounds crazy for me to just say that out loud like that. I don't need therapy. That ain't what you do. That is not what you do. That is not a real thing in black culture. It's not a real thing. We shun from that. But the reality is, man, we all need somebody to talk to. And I ain't talking about your friends. Your friends is good to have. Absolutely, they are. And God will bring you friends, right? He will give you encouragers. He will give you people, right, that are like minded, like you, that's going in the same direction as you. But it's not their calling to just keep on listening to everything that you got, especially when you keep talking about the same thing over and over and over. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna say this for a lot of people. I don't know about y'all, but listen, I've always been classified as the strong friend, right? And I got issues too. You see what I'm saying? But the crazy thing about it is like when I sit there and I'm listening to the same story over and over, and I'm like, you know what? I've gotten so good at it now, y'all, where I would literally say, did you talk to the Lord about that today? It ain't my job to get you up out your feelings. I can barely control myself with my own emotions. I got some things going on too. Did you see about God today? What did God say about that? I'm just saying, we all have to have boundaries, respectfully have boundaries. And we have to be mindful that everybody's not at your level. And that's cool too. That's okay too. It ain't meant for everybody to be where you at. It ain't meant for everybody. Listen, I ain't everybody's cup of tea. And I say it all the time. I ain't everybody's cup of tea. I ain't for you. If I'm not for you, please just keep it moving. You can stroll on through. I'm gonna have people that's gonna try to troll me, all of that good stuff. But I just look at it as, what, God is building me up. And He's building this skin, He's building this body up, right? And so, because He's building this body up, I can't take offense. I got to get out my feelings because I'm on His word. I'm leaning on Him. I'm not leaning on my own understanding. I have to trust that He knows what's best for me. I have to trust Him in all things. I can't just trust Him with some things, or I just trust you with a few things. But God, I got these feelings. I got these feelings. I got these emotions. And because God is so good and He wrapped Himself up in flesh to show us the way, and He even showed us it's okay for you to be human sometimes, but I don't need you to stay there long. Go ahead and have your little pity party 2-3 seconds. I done got better at that, y'all. Oh my God. Listen, I will get so wrapped up in my feelings, and I even talk to my friends sometimes, right? Because I get in my feelings. But I done got to a point now where it used to be a day where I just, let that thing hit. But now it may be about 6 hours, so I'm getting a lot better. It used to be a whole 24 hours. I let that thing hit me real heavy, and I'm walking around like, oh my God, this is affecting my day because I need to make sure I talk to him, or I need to make sure I talk to her, and I make sure I let them know. But when you go seek God about it first, and that's the beautiful thing about it is too, is when you begin to go seek God, God will begin to alter your feelings. He will begin to really, really speak to you, and He will begin to tell you exactly how you need to address the situation. Some of us, we just go in all blindly and we just go bust out with it, and we just say what we got to say. I'd have been there too, and I'm still there sometimes. I ain't all the way there. I'm not all the way wrapped too tight. I think anybody can tell you that who really know me. Listen, Toya ain't got all her screws, and maybe maybe she do got all her screws, but they're a little loose, so they need to be tightened. But it's not my job to tighten them. It's God's job to tighten them for me, right? I can put the screws there, but I'm like, God, they loose. And it's God's job to tighten those screws. We all got a little bit of crazy in us. Yeah, we do. We do. We connected to our Father. We all got a little bit of crazy in us, but we got to get out of our feelings. So if you did something today and you know that you like, probably shouldn't have did that, probably reacted a little bit prematurely, it's okay. But ask God, how do I approach this thing? How do I go about fixing this? How do I go about, being the bigger person? And I know sometimes, right, being the bigger person sometimes can hurt and sometimes it don't feel good because, it don't. Because, sometimes being petty feels better. A lot of times being petty feels good. A lot of times petty feels good, especially when you've been petty for a long time. I'm gonna tell you that because you speaking to a recovering addict of pettiness and ratchetness. I think the ratchetness still there, but the pettiness is real. The pettiness is real because you think that you're gonna get me, baby. I'm already 2 steps ahead of you. Already 2 steps ahead of you. And you think that I don't got no dirt up on you, right? I still got stuff that you since you've been born, sweetie. You see what I'm saying? Girl, people will try to play with your mama, not me. Yes, girl. Sometimes it is God telling you to let that relationship go. Sometimes you do. That's why I said we got to set them boundaries. We have to set boundaries respectfully. And sometimes you got to tell people, look, we ain't even who we used to be. And sometimes it hurts. I think sometimes we get so guarded because of our connections with people, right? And because of who they are. And so when they disappoint us, we feel some type of way. And that's cool because that's to be expected, right? Because you would think that this person really knows me and, I know them. And why would they do this to me? Why would they hurt me? And so then you get all up in your feelings. And guess what? Your feelings are absolutely valid. But you have to really, really seek God and ask God, how do I approach this thing? How do I really do I need to set more boundaries? Do I need to be more clear with my expectations? Right? Because guess what? I got some friends that I'm still friends with, right? But we don't talk like we used to. And I'm okay with that. Like respectfully, I'm okay with that because they're on different levels than I'm on. Like I can't be out here just girl, I don't even drink no more. Like, and I'm sitting here like, okay, so I don't drink, and and it's because I'm there. They do it. They do it because they want to see whether or not if I'm going to drink. So I don't want those type of people around me. Now I can still be around you, right? But I'm not going to indulge because I know what God has already brought me from. So why would you? And you know my story. I just don't like those type of people who deliberately know exactly what it is that you've been through and know that you had an issue, and yet they want to bring it to the forefront and want to see how you going to react. But that's okay because I'm going to tell you what, God allowed me to withstand, right? And to not even indulge in it, because what he did is that he showed me that, okay, you ain't even got to do all of that because you've now set boundaries. So now I'm at a point now where if we not out in a public place, right? If we not out in a public place and it's not a bunch of people around us, I will not go. And that's just what it is, because I have to also be mindful of my growth. I have to also be mindful of my spiritual growth, and I'm accountable for that. Like nobody else is accountable for your spiritual growth. So don't you dare allow them to make you feel like you have to be like them or you got to do what they told you to do. No, it don't work like that. No, it definitely don't work like that, especially when they used to the old versions of you. Like you're not even who you are anymore. Like you're not. You're growing, you're steadily evolving. And they should be too. But guess what? Some people just don't grow. Sometimes it takes other people longer to grow or to get it that it takes. Sometimes it takes them a whole lifetime to get the light bulb together. I'm telling you, because I see it all the time. I be trying to figure out why some people are still alive. Seriously. I sit here and I'm talking about like older people, right? And I sit here and I'm like, why are you still here? I don't understand it. Like, and it's like, but God is like my grace. His grace is so sufficient with us, right? And meaning that he's waiting for them, right? An opportunity for them to really grow. And even sometimes, the people that are connected to you, they not even trying to hear what it is that you got to say because they feel like you younger than me, you don't know no better, or you don't think this, and it's just crazy because they feel like you're not qualified because they feel like your experiences in life It's not their experiences in life. And because they feel like they older than you. But no, not at all. You can still learn something from a 36-year-old, 37-year-old like myself. You get what I'm saying? You can still learn from me. I'm just saying. Like we are learning from each other all the time. We learn from the birds. We can learn from Mother Nature. Yep. So sometimes people just they never get it. And that's okay. But you are responsible for you. And that's why it's so important for us to make sure that we guard our hearts because everybody is not meant to be in your heart. And it's on you, right? To be that gatekeeper to ensure. Like you have to check with the one who created your heart, which is God. You have to ask him, is it okay? Is it all right? Listen, I don't talk to nobody. Listen, I don't talk to no man. I don't talk to nobody. And I'm talking about even men, friendships, all of that. I don't talk to y'all unless I literally consult with God. I literally had to let a dude that I was talking to, I had to let him go because even though he sounded like he was a good person, right? Sounded like a very good person. Um and was really literally, I felt like he was but he was telling me that he knew God, right? And I asked him who God was to him and he was sharing these different things with me. But then at the same time, right, his words that he was telling me just was not matching with his actions. And so because it wasn't matching with his actions, God was like, why you keep wasting your time? You got to cut that person off. So that's the reality is that we got to cut people off. You got to cut people off. And we got to be open and honest with ourselves. Like if it ain't giving, if it's not serving us, and it's not serving us, we just got to let them go and just accept that they are going to be who they are, just let them be regardless of who they are. Like if they're a hater, let them be a hater. If they not for you, let accept the simple fact that you don't have to have everybody to like you. It's okay. Yes. Know them by their fruits. Yes. And that's exactly right, T, is that God accepts people exactly for where they are. And sometimes, y'all, that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to actually see them the way that he sees them, even in grace. But listen, just because God see you that way and God accepts you that way, I accept you, but you can't be in this important role in my life, whether or not it is connection, right? Whether or not if it's a friend, whether or not if it's a relationship. No, I can't do it. And I cannot settle and I refuse to. And that's what we all got to do. So that's why I say, y'all, we got to make sure we check our feelings. We got to make sure that we not so wrapped up in our feelings that um we forget who we are, right? And most importantly, we cannot get so wrapped up in our feelings that we forget whose we are. That is the most important thing. Is that it's who we belong to that creates the space. A lot of us have been playing God. A lot of us have literally been putting people in our hearts that don't belong. A lot of us have been placing things in our heart, the things of the world in our heart. And there's nothing wrong with you having desires. Like some of us, we want houses, we want our husbands, we want new cars, we want those things. But I'm telling you now, man, listen, those things are going to fade away. Those things are going to fade away at the end of the day. I'm not telling you that you don't need those things, right? Because they are essential, right, to our living. But at the same time, we want what God has for us. So get out your feelings on the day. What are you holding back today, right? What are you afraid of? Start asking yourself that. Start examining your heart. Yeah. And we can't lose ourselves in other people. Yeah, okay. We can't lose ourselves in other people because sometimes we get so wrapped up and we open ourselves up to people and God ain't even called us sometimes to even do that. It's such a natural thing. It just comes natural for us to want to encourage people. It comes natural for us to want to, be there for a person, right? And then we get offended when they're not there for us when we need them. But God is like, I'm here. I've been here. Talk to me. Talk to me. Share with me. I want to know about your day. Y'all, God wants to know about your day. He cares. He cares. We neglect him though. because we get so caught up in our feelings because it's not from who we want it to be from. But God is like, I'm right here. I'm right here. You neglected your own self. You see what I'm saying? So how in the world you gonna try to be there for somebody else and you neglecting your own self? You can't even help your own self. We just talked about this last week, y'all, with this plank in the eye now. Listen, we got to get the plank up out our eyes, but we also got to get out our feelings while we're doing it because the plank has to be removed. But also our feelings got to be removed because we can't have negative feelings. But if we begin to really get in the word and we really begin to ask God, God, who do you have for me to be? What do you want me to do? Then guess what? The positive feelings begin to flourish. And when you have those positive feelings, baby, people will say, "What's up with you, girl? You sure is glowing, boy. You got a light about you today. It's just something about you. I can't put my hands on. Oh, it's God." I tell people that now. They be like, "Oh, girl, what is going on?" I say, "Oh, it's God. It's God." Yeah, because it is. It's God. It's the light, but it's His light. It's His light shining through me. And I'm a vessel. That's it. I'm going through just like y'all going through. And that's what this is about, man. We're growing to glow. We're growing to glow. And I'm so excited about us, y'all. I'm so excited about us. I'm so excited about the more, right, that's coming for us. I'm excited because guess what, y'all? We're gonna get up out of our feelings. We're gonna do this work. We're gonna do this work. Listen, because I'm right there with y'all. Listen, when you're not an island by yourself, I got you. Yes. We got this, y'all. We got this. We cannot fail. With God on our side, we cannot fail. And I got you. You see what I'm saying? We in this thing together, boo-boo. Do you hear me? We in this thing together. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get up off of here. Same time next week. So I changed the time. It's no longer 8 o'clock anymore because 8 o'clock is kind of late. So for me, I decided that, you know what? Let me pray on this thing. And God was like 7 completion, right? So I used to get on here about 6:55 every Friday live. And that's what it's about. And I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited to see what else comes out of the glow up is because we are growing. Shout out to y'all who's been watching since first episode. Y'all, we at episode 24. And I'm excited about it because listen, we growing, we doing the darn thing. We are doing this, honey. We are doing this. Look at your light shining, boo-boo. Look at you glowing. Do you see yourself glowing? Pat yourself on the back, girl. Okay, you got it. We got this thing. I got y'all. Listen, same time next week. Okay. Same time next week, 7 o'clock. Share this message if it blessed you, if it touched you, if it was just down to earth and it was everything that you needed in between, all of that, because that's what we're here for. We're here to encourage each other, man. We're here to be here for each other because we are not an island by ourselves, man. We got to grow to glow. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.